have studied whatever the challenges facing. So now, when we face challenges, there are some kind of solutions also required. Some of the solutions were already taken to reform this one. So let's see which are the reforms taken place.
Is the part of the problem faced in agriculture?
No, problems over. Now, in order to have a solution, this kind of reforms have been introduced. So next part is about reforms. The first reform is establishment of institutions. Institutions like research centers.
How many reforms?
So many reforms.
No, in the chapter.
Huh?
In the chapter that you have been studying.
That only, no, 4 reforms are there. One is that the establishment of institutions. What is that? Research centers, agricultural universities, and all have introduced to make that agriculture improve. That is what the first reform. See, we were discussing earlier about the challenges or the problems. Now that problems का solution निकालने का. So what solutions are taken? What reforms are taken? The first one is establishment of institutions. Institution, you have heard about agricultural universities are there. Agricultural research centers, council for research. So all these institutions are the first reform. Now, second, green revolution. Right? No? First one, establishment of institutions.
What is it?
Indian Council for Agricultural Research.
write this is a natural agriculture policy.
National.
We did not write it.
No, national agriculture policy, some points you have to mark in that your volume or mistake. You just write what is that after going home. You just mark the policy seek to promote the technically sound, economically viable, environmentally non-degrading and socially acceptable use of country's natural resources. The point is the main aim of nation. Completed?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when there is a problem, we need to find out some solutions. That problems only we have discussed so many challenges. Okay. So when we got independence, the country's agricultural condition was in a very bad state because the British exploited it. They compelled us to grow indigo. They compelled us to grow certain cash crops. So because of that, our agricultural economy was in a bad shape. Now, after getting independence, the government's primary aim was to achieve self-sufficiency. Means that every individual Indian should have enough food. We should not face any famines. We should not have any such a chronic hunger. So that is why they have introduced certain reforms. One of the reform they have introduced is institutions were established. What was that? Some research institutions. How can we increase agricultural production? What type of technological changes can be done? How new crops can be made that suit the climatic conditions of each and every area? All these type of institutions were set up, and people had certain problems related to that climate. So weather bulletins were given so that people will be alert. Another thing is that you wrote it, Kisan, N.
Should I fix it?
You have to, that one now, N. Huh? You write the L to be N. A-N. Yes, so A also. Kisan call centers. What is Kisan call centers? In emergency time, that farmers could call to that call centers and get help from. So that is this type of institutions were set up so that farmers got the benefit. First part is clear. Now second, green revolution. Green revolution is the main project introduced to increase the agricultural production. See, you just imagine if the same land is cultivated again and again, fertility will lose. So, how can we increase the production? Earlier, only 35 lakhs of people. Now, that time the population increased to 70 lakhs, doubled. Government have to support that much population with the food grains. So there was a need to increase the food production. For that, they coined a new term to increase the production, that is known as green revolution. Green means agricultural revolution. Whatever things were included in it, first, scientific farming techniques. Scientific farming technique means agricultural old and outdated technology we have studied, one of the challenges. Now, scientific way of farming. New way. Earlier times, one example, we will study about that how different crops are growing. So, one type of method to plant this sugar cane is that cutting from the root and allow that plant from that new plant from that. So there is a technique. So these are scientific methods so that the production from that plants can increase. So scientific method of introduction of high yielding variety of seeds. So in order to increase the production, high yielding variety HYV seeds. Understood? Each seed can give more produce. Such kind of seeds, irrigation facilities, use of chemical fertilizers, like that, all the things together if they use, agricultural production can be increased. That was introduced. Next is favorable government policies. For everything, government policies should be supportive. So, government introduced such policies which are favorable for that farmers. For example, providing loans. There are certain banks, land, based on land, they will get loans. Earlier or now, if we want to take a loan, we have to submit so many documents that include our salary certificate, our income tax returns, so many things we have to. So that the bank will make sure that we are having the repaying capacity. So those farmers who are not having anything else, only land is there. So from the land, what they will get? So, but still, the government used to provide loans for farmers. Land will be kept as security or collateral, and a loan could be taken. Intensive, what is that? Next point is impact on Indian agriculture. All these challenges give rise to some kind of problems, and government and people have introduced certain methods. As a result of that, agriculture had its impacts. What were that impacts? That is subsistence to commercial. Earlier, people used to grow crops only for their needs. Now they were producing the goods for selling purpose. Now you imagine you were studying only for passing. Now you are in 10th. You have an aim that not just passing, I have to score 90% or 98%. So your target is changed. Earlier subsistence only they were producing for their family needs. Now they are producing for selling purpose. So when the target is changed, they are using that methods to increase. Got it? Next is intensive agricultural production helped in achieving self-sufficiency. Earlier, they were not having ownership of land. So they used to cultivate in somebody's land. They had to face so many problems. Now, the land which is available is intensively cultivated. There is every bit of land available they used to cultivate. About that intensive agriculture, we have to study in detail. Intensive and extensive. So, the available land is utilized to the maximum. Now, again, I am going to give the example of your studies. You change your target from just passing to 90%. Now, your method have to change. You are thinking that, okay, आधा भाग तो छोड़ देगा तो आधा भाग से क्वेश्चन आएगा तो आपका क्या करोगे so you have to change your pattern so here they have made their aim to achieve self-sufficiency that means everyone should have sufficient to satisfy their food needs. That is what is self-sufficiency. Then they should be able to sell. That way. Next is created more employment opportunities. Earlier, when plough was used, have you heard about plough? So, bullocks are used or oxen are used to plough the land. So, 2 oxen or 2 bullock is sufficient, 1 man will be required to direct it. Now, when tractor is used, tractor will do that work very fast and so many people can do that sowing or other kind of activities. So, more people could get work, employment opportunities. Understood? So, that is creation of more employment. Next, increased agricultural returns. See, earlier when they were growing, cultivating the same field again and again with an old method, return was very less. Now, with the introduction of green revolution, agricultural production increased. Then, improved the condition of rural population. Earlier, Koka means they did not have sufficient food to eat. Now, everyone is self-sufficient. Now they are happy. Their condition changed. Earlier, that in order to support the family, it was very difficult. Now they have enough, and they could now have some income. They could send their children to schools. With the higher education, they could also earn some kind of income. So status improved. Next is National Agricultural Policy was introduced. With that policy, so many changes are introduced. One is technically sound economy. So, policy is to promote a technically sound, technically meaningful. अभी आपके पास कंप्यूटर है. So, with the computer, you should do the work instead of wasting your time in writing. Because I am a person prefer to write. Means I write. When whatever work, perfection will come only when I am doing. I know very well computer can do the work faster. But my method is that I am not getting satisfaction when I am not doing by myself. So, you are having the technology with you, But why you are not using? This is the question mark. So here, what is that? The policy is to promote technically sound, technically meaningful, economically viable. Means you can get income, that kind of methods, and environmentally non-degrading. You know that sustainable development, have you heard about it? Without damaging the environment. So we should continue the development without damaging the environment. So such kind of agricultural improvement to be taken, that is called national agricultural policy. Got it? Clear? Now, types of agriculture: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Very fast we can complete.
Now after that, can you show the video of the agriculture?
The different methods of agriculture. You can take, then after that we will discuss. Based on that one, discussion will be there. Okay? Because when you are hearing, you will get the point based on that. Take.
How many types of farming?
Ah. First type of farming is subsistence farming. What is subsistence farming? Definition is this, and then these are the features. Okay. Now afterwards, I will write about commercial farming. So you can get a comparative study of both. Writing?
Yes.
Fast. What happened? You want to wash your face? completed?
No.
Okay. See, subsistence farming. Subsistence means we are growing that crop for our needs only. So whatever family needs are there, we are producing. It is not for sale. So what is happening? That they are having enough for, or sufficient for their needs. So what is the problem? They have less land. So less land, they cannot grow more crops. That is why they practice subsistence farming. So let us see that where it is in forest and tribal areas, it is practiced. Land holdings are small. These are the features. Land holdings are small and scattered. That is not nearby. Here and there it is. Farmers use traditional methods of farming. That is, farm implements and methods of farming are also traditional, old. Okay, they don't use any machines and all. As the farm is small in size, they cannot use. Next is that it depends upon monsoon, natural fertility of the soil, environment, favorable condition. That kind of areas only the subsistence farming, or they cannot depend on artificial methods. They cannot depend on that high tech methods. So that is how they are doing that agriculture. You just imagine a person is having only 1 acre of land. This 1 acre of land, he cannot bring that tractor and all. And it is far off. It is not along with others farms. So they grow crops as and what they require. So that kind of method is called a subsistence. And output is not very high. Output means production is not very high. So whatever they grow, they use it for the needs. Just opposite for subsistence is commercial. That is why sometimes distinguish between. So what is subsistence? They produce it for their family needs. Here they produce it for sale. Large scale they produce, and whatever produce they get, they sell it. That is what. This involves cultivation of crops for sale. These crops are called commercial crops or cash crops. They grow that crops just for getting that money. That is why these crops are called cash crops. Now, what are the features? Crops are grown for sale. Same thing. Then farms are large. Mechanized farming is used and practiced in the areas where large farms and having well developed economy. Did you get the distinction between? Now, next type of method. See, if you want to write, then I will write all the points. Otherwise, if you write it at home, then I will explain it. Explain only. Huh?
Yes.
Because you don't have that book. That is why I am writing all the points. Huh? Okay, listen. Next method of farming is called shifting. Listen very carefully. So the word indicates shifting. Shifting means move from one place to another. See, in the earlier times, forests are there. In the forest, people what they do, they cut the tree, then burn that branches and all, and that ashes they sow the seeds. Ashes will be spread, and there only with a digging stick or something, they will not till the soil. They will that is make a digging stick and put that seeds inside. So it will give good yield because so many that dry leaves were there, ashes were there, and the topsoil is fertile. As we are not tilling the soil properly, the root cannot go deep and tap the fertility or water or whatever it is. So that is why it will give yield only for 1 or 2 years. Afterwards, they move from that place to another place. That is what I am telling. They move to another place and do the same practice there by leaving this land like that. Ah. So, because for, they are not getting good yield, they did not till the soil to be loose, so that aeration will take place. But here they are not doing like that. They just dig that places with the digging stick and put the seed. So as the soil is hard, only for 1 year or 2 years they will give good yield. Then they leave that place and go to another area. Same procedure they used to do. Then after 2 years they leave that place and move to another area. So what happened as they are moving or shifting the places, it is called a shifting agriculture. Now shifting agriculture require huge lands. Understood? As they want to move from place to place, forests to be cleared. So that is why this will not give a lasting productivity. That is called shifting agriculture. So what they are doing, they clear the forest, cut the branches, and burn that one, and the ashes will be spread, and the seeds are sown. As the land is not tilled properly, the fertility will not be there for a long time. So they move to or they shift the place and do the same activity. Such method is known as shifting agriculture. Okay, what are the features? A patch of forest is cleared by cutting the trees and burning the stems. The ash is spread. It will require large area, and land is not tilled, so the productivity will not be good. Productivity will not be good for long time. Short time, it is good. Did you get the shifting agriculture? Next is intensive agriculture. You heard about intensive. So where there is huge population pressure, means a large number of people are living and small land is available. The available land is intensively cultivated. Understood? So more population pressure is there. That is thickly populated area, small land only available. So they use that land to the maximum. So here they cannot use machines, labor intensive. That is, people only do that agricultural work. as they are using it maximum, production also good. Understood? So such cultivation is known as intensive cultivation. Can you tell what is intensive cultivation? This thing attention is going somewhere. That is why I asked. Huh? Intensively means the available land is utilized to maximum. Intensively. So where it is done, where there is more population pressure, less land. And here labor intensive. Laborers are used for growing the crop. As the land is maximum utilized, good production is there, or different crops are grown.
As if it is used more,
Hmm.
soil fertility will not grow.
See, they use fertilizers also. They use irrigation also. So every bit of land is utilized to maximum. Only thing is that the machines are not used, laborers are used, but they use all the methods to increase the production. Their aim is to get a maximum yield. That is called a intensive. Now, just opposite to it is extensive. Extensive is that large farms where less population is there. Where population is less, large farms are available. And when large farms are there, machines can be utilized and they try to grow cash crops. So that way, when the land is extensively cultivated with the help of machines and other, it is called an extensive farming. And here, intensive farming, food crops are grown, whereas commercial extensive farming, cash crops are grown. Less population and large land. Here, intensive farming, large population and less land. This way. So here, how we are distinguished, the same way intensive and extensive can be. Got it? Now, plantation agriculture. Some people or some students used to misunderstand that. What is plantation? See, plantation was a single crop is grown in estates and in rows, that is lines. Have you seen that tea plantation?
Yes.
So it is planted in row. That is like equal measurement that the crop is planted. Such kind of large estates where single crop is cultivated in rows, it is called plantation agriculture. What is that? Rubber plantation, tea plantation, coffee plantation, banana plantation. So large areas, single crop, that is in estates and grown in
Estates.
uh,
Estates.
northeastern states are there. What is your question?
What is estates?
Estate. Estate means a large area, plot of land. Estates. Understood? Tea estate, coffee estate, rubber estate. Okay. Did you get this point?
Yes.
Now we come to that last part, mixed farming.
Different crops.
Mixed farming, okay, here crops and animals are reared. Understood? They grow crops as well as they rear animals. So you just imagine a farmer. He is having a plot of land. he keep one cow or two cows. So these cows will give cow dung. That cow dung can be used as manure. And when that harvest is not done, by the time they give milk, milk can be sold in the market and earn an income. So livelihood can be maintained. And at the same time, after harvesting, that farm waste can be used as cattle feed. This way, when agriculture, that is growing of crops plus cattle rearing is done, that type of farming is called a mixed farming. So this is an additional income to the farmer. Understood? That you full year agricultural this thing activity, sometimes it will take 4 months to 5 months from that sowing to harvesting. So that time there is no income. So if cattle is there, they will give milk or poultry or whatever it is. So that is an additional income to the farmer. Such kind of farming is called a mixed farming. Okay. The crops and animals are raised simultaneously. Two or more crops are grown together. Rotation of crops is also practiced. Rotation means one crop, then afterwards another crop, that is changing that. Hmm? I'll tell you one leguminous crops you are knowing. So what is that? That crops will add nutrients to the soil. Hmm? What is that? Pea plant, uh, beans and all. So such kind of that plants are having in the stem that nutrients are there. So this plant will add fertility too. That is atmospheric nitrogen is absorbed and this nitrogen is passed to that soil. Nitrogen cycle is maintained. So such crops are planted in between. That is why rotation of crops. Okay, you just read this part. I will give you your book to you. Just read this three parts: shifting, intensive, extensive, and one more was the plantation mixed crop.
I'm shifting. If the land has lost its fertility, then it can it gain it back?
Yes. So how it can be gained because they are moving to another area, no? So here the leaves of that plants, trees are there, that the leaves will fall and it will gradually join with that soil and the topsoil will be filled with the humus. So in that, what is the method and what are the features? These two parts you heard. which school you are studying?
Not
Enterwala education. Enterwala education.
So where is that?
Gymkhana.
Huh?
Sector 14 Gymkhana.
Ah,
MG complex. So Samay.
this new school.
10 to 15 years.
Ah, I didn't know. This lesson is understood clearly.
yes.
I actually wanted to take a test also, but if you are not having textbook or a plan,
And it can go.
now 5 minutes only. Na?
And yesterday, they said after that 2 time.
Ah,
Yes, those schools are not very interesting.
ah,
So what is it right?
We can go this way.
anyhow, it's just freedom. Because I never leave earlier. Those sirs are having their own.
We are finishing that.
Finish the job. Not torturing you, no? This I just. Where are they staying?
Washi.
What you say? Okay, if you are tired, close the book. Package.
This last part.
Only thing is that learn thoroughly. When I am this thing freezing the lesson, you will get the paper for test. Understood?
I didn't get it.
See, this lesson when I am completing, I used to freeze it. It's lesson over. So immediately they will release that paper for test.
Okay, on that same day.
Same day, no, they will intimate this.
They will inform you other day. Actually, at the same day.
No, same day. Now also I cannot freeze. I have to freeze this all lessons on Sunday. Because Saturday I'm having class. So next week you expect next Sunday.
Next.
So prepare nicely. You have to write. So it is a test for me also. Just how much I am able to. Yesterday I took it for neighborhood students and they took a test for 15 marks. Maximum got above 11
Out of 20.
out of 15
Agriculture.
agreements. And that was objective I did not know. MCQs I did not know. Only the circumstances. So that is why I wanted to see that it is interesting also.
So basically, it will inform when the test will be there.
Yes, definitely. This Sunday, no, that after teaching, some 15 minutes were left. So instead of wasting the time, and more children are there means the little competition will be there. No? So they told madam, you take a test or quiz time. So I told this one quiz time is not good. Objective time is not that much. I'll take a test. Okay. So they prepared 5 minutes time. I gave and I wrote the question on the board.
No, we can do.
Yes. So when this one come feedback from complete this right. Have you ever written feedback form about that professors?
No.
No. There is a procedure that they will send.
I mean, the street.
Bye,
Okay,
ma'am.
bye.
Thank you, ma'am.